Hey y'all, it's Dr. Tiffany. I hope you're doing well. So, a few days ago I noticed that one of my old videos had reactivated again and has been viewed about 40,000 times since then. It was on Candida Auris, which is a nasty fungal infection, and I ran that video, I think it was in November of 2022. So I decided that let's make an update. Also, I know that there's been a recent outbreak, I think in Seattle, there's been an outbreak where there were a few cases, 4 cases, I believe, in King County. And before you ask, Audrey went and hid because she doesn't want to be known as a doom cat, not on Valentine's Day. So, but anyways, so this was the map that I had up when I made that 2 years ago. And it shows that the number of cases is actually quite distributed throughout the country. Now, there's some more recent data available, which was in 2020, all the way through the end of 2022, which shows that it's maybe filled out a bit in the southeast, but you can tell that by this kind of distribution, and also you can add Washington now to it, that this is probably safe to say that it's everywhere in the country by now. So what is Candida auris? Candida auris is a type of yeast. It's something that is not a threat to most healthy people, but however, if you are not healthy, if you're chronically ill in any way, this may be an extreme threat to you, actually. And it's worldwide, too. Even across the Pacific, China has been noting a rapid rise. In 2023, they went from 33 cases and outbreaks in 2022 to 182 in 2023. So who's at risk for this? People who are chronically ill, people who are hospitalized, people who have been on long-term antibiotics of any type, people who are immunocompromised, and people who, most notably, the highest at-risk populations, people who have indwelling medical devices, such as being on a ventilator, having a tracheostomy, being fed through a PEG tube, having a central line, PICC line, anything like that, any chronic indwelling medical device. Now, if the people who do develop this, it's very deadly. It's the fatality rate is around 30 to 60%. The average that's listed is 45%, I believe, by the CDC. And the cases are rising quite steeply. In 2018 in the US, we had 330, and in 2022, there were 2,372, and that's symptomatic cases, and 5,754 cases caught by screening as well. So that's a pretty exponential increase. The infections can be anywhere. It can be anything from a skin infection to urinary tract infection to pneumonia to an ear infection, which is really bizarre. And the symptoms are rather nonspecific. Fever, chills, extreme fatigue, ear pain if you have the ear infection, low blood pressure, also low body temperature and high heart rate. So remember, basically anything on the sepsis spectrum, you would manifest with that. And the really creepy part about it is it can survive on surfaces for several weeks. So drtiff, this is a waking nightmare, isn't it? Well, yes and no. It's pretty easy to prevent if you're not immunocompromised or at risk. Hand washing, if your hands are visibly dirty, and if they're not, hand sanitizer will do an adequate job of killing this. It's also treatable with a class of antifungals called echinocandins. So it's not a hopeless thing. It's just anything with a 45% fatality rate is a nasty thing. You don't really want to play with that. It's diagnosed with cultures. They can be drawn from like blood or skin, or it could also, people could be screened by swabbing skin, stuff like that for the Candida. So rather complicated, and it is a rather long video. So, but I kind of wanted to make a one-stop shop for an update on this. The outbreak in Seattle has been contained, and this stems from a long-term acute care facility over there, and I believe it was at 4 cases. If I hear any more, I will bring it to you. I love you. Please stay safe.